stop chasing the next big breakthrough. No, seriously, stop. If you still think success comes from grinding harder, hustling longer, or stumbling across that one perfect strategy, you're playing the wrong damn game. Let me wreck the narrative you've been sold, because the most successful people in the world, they're not chasing dopamine hits. They're not living launch to launch. They're not burning out every 6 months for the story. The secret? It's not intensity. It's not passion. It's consistency. And I get it. That's the part nobody wants to hear, because consistency isn't sexy. It doesn't sell masterminds. It doesn't go viral on Instagram. But you know what it does? It wins. What if I told you the entire game is rigged? That the real edge isn't in going harder, it's in showing up every damn day. Even when it's messy, even when you're tired, even when you're not in the mood. You trapped in that cycle? You know the one. Start strong, burn out, guilt, repeat. You're not broken. You're just caught in a culture that worships highlight reels and overnight explosions. We've been sold the myth of intensity because it looks good on a billboard. It sounds good in a Netflix doc, but it's killing your follow-through. Let me say it straight. The path to winning isn't a sprint. It's a steady, relentless, unsexy march. The tortoise? He wasn't just right. He was strategic. Here's what's killing your potential. You're addicted to the sprint. You want the high. You want the dopamine. But success? It's a marathon. Let me guess. You wake up Monday fired up. This is my week. You map out the perfect morning routine. New workout plan. Big business goals. You're locked in. Then what happens? By Wednesday, you're negotiating with yourself. By Friday, you're off the rails. And by Sunday night, you're making promises to Monday like it's your savior. That's not a discipline issue. It's not even about motivation. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of how success is actually built. You've been brainwashed. Brainwashed into thinking transformation has to be dramatic. Massive action. All gas, no brakes. Go hard or go home. Meanwhile, the people actually building wealth, hitting targets, and changing their lives, they're doing the boring stuff. Every single day. They're not waiting for motivation. They're not chasing hacks. They're not obsessed with the next tool. They're obsessed with execution. They show up, even when it sucks, even when no one's watching, even when it's boring as hell. You want the brutal truth? Your obsession with intensity, it's keeping you mediocre. While you're busy chasing energy spikes and TikTok tips, they're building systems. They're stacking wins. They're creating compound growth you can't see until it's too late. They're not smarter than you, not luckier, not more motivated. They just get it. They know the scoreboard doesn't care about your perfect day. It cares about what you did today and if you'll do it again tomorrow. All right, here's the deal. First off, you're not broken. You're just wired for intensity. And yeah, that wiring, it's biological. Your brain is built to crave the new, the shiny, the dramatic. It's dopamine driven. And dopamine doesn't spike when you win. It spikes when you're about to win. That anticipation, that's the high. That's why starting new projects feels intoxicating. You're on fire, you're focused, you're in the zone. But fast forward a week, and suddenly showing up feels like torture. Next, let's talk culture. We live in a world that feeds this addiction. Instagram, TikTok, they're highlight reels. You see the 6-figure launch, the shredded body, the podium finish. But what you don't see? The 5 a.m. workouts in the dark, the failed product builds, the 2 years of crickets before a single win. We're surrounded by flashy results with zero context, so no wonder we think success is supposed to be fast and dramatic. Now let's shift to science. Neuroscience proves this too. Those intense bursts you keep chasing, they're actually draining your willpower. Like maxing out in the gym every day, you burn out hard. But consistent, moderate effort, that builds what researchers call self-control strength. Your mental muscle gets stronger, more resilient, more reliable. And here's the kicker. Decades of research, thousands of people tracked. And guess who comes out on top? Not the intense few, but the consistent many. The ones who don't skip the boring reps. The ones who build rhythm over hype. That's where wealth is built. That's where real growth happens. In relationships, health, business, all of it. Now here's the punch in the face most people need. We've been sold a lie. That the ultra-successful are just more hardcore. that they're grinding 18 hours a day, that they've got superhuman focus. Total garbage. The most successful people I know, they build systems, they automate, they delegate. They don't chase intensity, they engineer consistency. Because here's what they know, brilliant intensity fades, boring consistency compounds. Every time. So yeah, the truth might not be sexy, but it's scalable. And if you want real results, not hype, not burnout, then it's time to stop chasing the dopamine hit and start building your discipline muscle. Alright, let's get tactical. You want results? You want to level up? Then stop chasing intensity and start mastering consistency. Because here's the truth most people ignore. Success doesn't come from going big. It comes from going small, every single day. Let me hit you with the math. A 1% improvement daily doesn't give you 365% growth in a year. Nope, it gives you 3,778% growth. Let that sink in. That's the compound effect in action. That's why Warren Buffett isn't out here flipping coins and praying. He's not making huge bets on hype. He's stacking small, smart decisions every single day, for decades. And you can do the same. Next, let's make this real. Take reading, for example. 10 pages a day? Sounds tiny. You could probably knock it out in 15 minutes, right? But stay with me. 10 pages a day equals 18 books a year. Keep that pace for 10 years, that's 180 books. That's expert-level knowledge in any category you want. Meanwhile, the person who goes full sprint, trying to read an entire book every weekend, they burn out after 3 books and never finish another one. Here's the shift. Small actions may feel insignificant today, but over time, they multiply your power. Now let's break a popular myth. You've heard it. It takes 21 days to build a habit. Yeah. No, that's a lie. New research shows it takes anywhere from 59 to 335 days, with the average being about 66 days, to truly lock in a habit. And even more powerful, people who stick with simple, consistent behaviors for just 90 days, they see massive gains in their ability to maintain long-term habits. Here's why. Your brain literally rewires itself through repetition. Every time you show up, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's boring, you're carving a deeper neural groove. You're making that behavior more automatic, more effortless. Eventually, discipline stops feeling like a chore because it becomes your identity. You don't try to work out. You're just the kind of person who trains. You don't force yourself to write. You are a writer. That's not magic. That's science. And it starts with repetition. Now let's talk about your secret weapon, momentum. Because consistency does one thing intensity can't. It builds behavioral momentum. It's like a flywheel. At first, it's heavy, it's slow, it resists. But you keep showing up, every day, push by push, rep by rep. Suddenly, stopping feels harder than continuing. That's the momentum effect. It's real, and it's a force multiplier. Look at successful entrepreneurs. They didn't build billion-dollar companies overnight. They launched messy, imperfect businesses and then improved them by 1% every day. While everyone else was waiting for the perfect moment, they were testing, tweaking, learning, shipping. That's how you win. You iterate forward daily. Last thing, here's what the research tells us. People who prioritize consistency over intensity, they're 40% more likely to hit their long-term goals. And not just hit them, they actually feel better while doing it. Why? Because intensity is a sprint. It's exciting, but it's exhausting. It leads to burnout, not breakthroughs. Consistency, though, that's sustainable. That's scalable. That's where real confidence comes from. So the question is, what do you want? Short-term hype or long-term freedom? Because if you're serious about building something that lasts, then you need to stop swinging for home runs and start stacking small, repeatable wins every single day. Hey there, I'm Mark, and I'm genuinely excited you're here investing in your growth. Before we dive deeper into today's strategy, I want to ask you a quick favor that takes just 2 seconds but makes a huge difference. If you're finding value in this content, hit that subscribe button and tap the like. It's completely free and helps us reach more people who need these game-changing strategies. Your support directly fuels our mission to help thousands transform their lives. Thanks for being part of this community. Now let's jump right back into the breakthrough strategies that are about to change everything for you. That's how you change your business. That's how you change your brain. That's how you build a life on your terms. All right, let's kill the fantasy right now. If you're still chasing overnight success or some dramatic breakthrough, you're not building a business. You're chasing a dopamine hit. Here's the truth. Real success, it's boring as hell. It's not flashy. It's not cinematic. It's not some Rocky-style training montage with intense music and magical results. It's this. Waking up at the same time every day. Doing your deep work before you check Slack, email, or social media. Having the same 15-minute sync with your team week after week. It's predictable, it's routine, it's reliable. And that's exactly why most people never stick with it. Now, here's what the top performers understand. They've figured out how to make the right behaviors automatic. Not inspirational, not emotional, automatic. Their routines? Simple. Their calendars? Systemized. Their success? Engineered. They don't rely on hype. They don't wait for the right mood. They don't need a perfect Monday to restart their life. They build systems that run no matter what. While the rest of the world is chasing hacks and shiny objects, they're mastering the fundamentals. Over and over. So let's get tactical. What does this boring consistency actually look like? Let's break it down. 1. Morning routine. Wake up at the same time. Follow the same 30-minute sequence. No decision fatigue. No, what should I do first? Just automatic momentum. It's not sexy, but it's the launch pad for winning days. 2. Deep work focus. Block 2 hours a day. Same time, same environment, same process. This is where real progress happens. Not in meetings, not in your inbox, in focused, uninterrupted execution. 3. Daily learning. 15 minutes. Not a 6-hour YouTube binge. Not trying to finish a book in one night. Just one focused session that moves your skill set forward. 4. Physical movement. 20 minutes. Not an hour-long workout you'll skip. Not trying to max out every session. Just move. Every day. Period. 5. Relationship building. Reach out to one person. Text, email, voice note. You do this every day, and in a year you've nurtured 365 relationships. That's how you build a real network. Not a spray and pray approach at events once a quarter. Now here's the kicker. Why is boring win over brilliance? Because boring is reliable. It doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't need perfect weather, perfect motivation, or your horoscope to align. Boring works in chaos. Brilliant breaks under pressure. Boring systems run when life gets messy. Brilliant strategies crash the second something unexpected happens. You want to be anti-fragile? Build boring routines. Because when the stress hits, you'll get stronger, not weaker. And here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Brilliant people burn out. Boring people, they compound. Day by day, brick by brick, decade by decade. Final thought. Look at who's really winning. The entrepreneurs making real money. They're not the flashy ones with funnels and fancy cars. They're the ones showing up every day, serving their customers, solving problems, and sticking to a repeatable playbook. The investors building real wealth, they're not day trading Bitcoin at 3 a.m. They're dollar cost averaging into index funds for 30 years, quietly, consistently. So yeah, success is boring. And that's exactly why it works. Because here's the part most people miss about success. Mental discipline is not a sprint. It's not about hacks. It's not about getting fired up and crushing it for 2 weeks. It's a fundamental shift in how you think. About time, about progress, about what actually moves the needle. You want to win long term? You've got to stop chasing instant gratification and start trusting the process. Now, here's the real reason people quit. It's not because their strategy's broken. It's because they can't stomach the boring middle. That phase where you're showing up, doing the work, and the results? Still crickets. No applause. No dopamine spike. Just silence. But listen, this is where real discipline lives. Not in the motivation to start. That's easy. Anyone can start when they're fired up. But the commitment to keep going when there's no feedback loop, that's rare. That's elite. Let's back that up with research. Studies on self-control are crystal clear. People who think long-term, they crush short-term thinkers in every category that matters. They make better financial decisions. They build deeper relationships. They hit bigger, more meaningful goals. Why? Because they're not chasing sugar highs. They're playing for compound wins. And speaking of compounding, let's talk timelines. This is what nobody tells you about playing the long game. Progress isn't linear. Here's how it really works. First 30 days, feels like nothing's happening. Day 30 to 90, small shifts, subtle. You might miss them. Day 90 to 180, now it's undeniable. Things are clicking. After day 180, the compound effect explodes. Momentum multiplies. Confidence builds. and everything gets easier because now you've built the foundation. But here's the catch. Most people quit in the first 90 days. Why? Because they're looking for fireworks instead of trusting the flywheel. Winners, they know the game is invisible at first, but they stick. They repeat. They let time do its job. Now here's how the top 1% actually think. They think in decades. Not days, not weeks, decades. They ask, what would I need to do every day for the next 10 years to guarantee the life I want? Then, they reverse engineer the answer. They turn it into daily action, and they stick to it religiously. That's how a writer becomes successful. Not by dropping a bestseller overnight, but by writing daily for years and building mastery. That's how an entrepreneur wins. Not by launching the perfect product, but by serving customers every single day until their name becomes a brand. So let me ask you, are you playing the game for applause, or are you building something that can't be taken from you? Because real mental discipline isn't loud. It's not flashy. It's not about today. It's built in quiet, boring consistency, stacked over years. If you can learn to love that, you become unstoppable. Now, here's a reality check. Knowing about consistency is one thing, but actually living it when life gets messy, that's where most people fall apart. You can understand every principle we've covered today, but without a proven system to guide you through the inevitable rough patches, you'll end up back where you started. That's exactly why we developed the Mental Discipline for Success system. Because good intentions without a framework are just wishful thinking. This isn't another motivational course that leaves you hyped for a week. It's a comprehensive system that meets you where you are and walks you through building unshakable consistency, one day at a time. Here's what makes this different. It's designed for real people with real challenges. People who have tried everything, who start strong on Monday and crash by Wednesday. The system includes step-by-step video training that shows you exactly how to implement everything we've discussed today. Daily tracking tools that keep you accountable to yourself, not to external pressure. And a complete roadmap for building the mental discipline that creates lasting success. But more importantly, it gives you what consistency really requires. A proven process for getting back on track when you slip. Because everyone slips. The difference between people who succeed long-term and those who don't isn't that they never fail. It's that they have a system for bouncing back faster. If you're tired of starting over every Monday, if you want to finally build the consistency that creates real results, all the details are in the description below. But whether you check that out or not, remember this. Consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, especially when you don't feel like it. That's how you build the life you actually want instead of the life you settle for. Your consistency journey starts with a simple decision. Are you going to keep waiting for the perfect moment, or are you ready to start building real momentum today? Here's what I want you to do right now, and I mean right now, before you close this video and forget everything we just covered. Pick one area of your life where you're ready to choose consistency over intensity. Maybe it's getting up 15 minutes earlier every day. Maybe it's writing one paragraph daily. Maybe it's doing 5 push-ups every morning, no matter what. Write it down. Commit to it for just 7 days. Not perfect execution, just consistent showing up. Because that's how you prove to yourself that you're someone who follows through on your word. And here's how you can help this message reach someone else who needs to hear it. If this video shifted how you think about success, smash that like button. It tells YouTube this content matters and helps us reach more people who are stuck in the intensity trap. Drop a comment below and tell me what's the one habit you're committing to for the next 7 days. I read every single comment and I want to celebrate your commitment with you. Seeing your goals makes this community stronger and holds you accountable to taking action. And if you're serious about building mental discipline in every area of your life, not just this one habit, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because consistency isn't a one-time lesson. It's a skill you build over time. And I'm here to guide you through that process with proven strategies that actually work. Your future self is watching what you do right now. Make them proud. Let's build something lasting together.